Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to the new lecture. So, today we will discuss the first step of aerobic respiration, that is glycolysis, which is also known as EMP pathway. First of all, meaning glycolysis. In glycolysis, the glyco means glucose and lysis means splitting or breakdown. So, we can define glycolysis as the breakdown of one glucose molecule, a 6 carbon molecule, into two molecules of pyruvic acid, which is a 3 carbon molecular compound. Or in other words, glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose, a 6 carbon molecule, into two molecules of pyruvate or pyruvic acid, 3 carbon molecule, a 3 carbon molecule with a net gain of 2 ATP molecules. Location: glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm or cytosol and is common in both aerobic and anaerobic respiration because glycolysis does not need oxygen. So therefore glycolysis is common to both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now coming into mechanism of glycolysis, glycolysis is completed in two phases. One is preparatory phase and the other is oxidative phase. Preparatory phase is also known as investment phase, in which there is breakdown of glucose occurs and energy, that is 2 ATP molecules, are used. So it is an investment phase. And oxidative phase, also known as fade-off phase or harvesting phase, in which high energy phosphate bonds, that is ATP, are formed and energy is stored. Why glycolysis is also known as EMP pathway? So EMP is after the name of three biochemists: E for Emden, M for Meyerhoff, and P for Parnas. These are the three biochemists who for the first time studied glycolysis. Therefore, glycolysis is also known as EMP pathway after the name of these three biochemists. And as earlier discussed, that glycolysis or EMP pathway, it is independent of oxygen, means it doesn't need oxygen. So it is same, common for both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Now, with the help of this diagram, we will explain these two phases of glycolysis, the preparatory phase and oxidative phase. If you look into this diagram, from here, step 1 to step 5, this is preparatory phase, and the preparatory phase completes in 5 steps. The first step is phosphorylation of glucose. The second one is isomerization of glucose 6-phosphate. The third one is phosphorylation of fructose 6-phosphate. The fourth one is cleavage of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. And the fifth one is isomerization. Now we will study these steps of the oxidative phase. So preparatory phase involves, preparatory phase is the phosphorylation of glucose by 2 ATP molecules. The first step in preparatory phase is phosphorylation of glucose. Phosphorylation of glucose. So glycolysis starts when glucose, a 6 carbon molecule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon. When glucose reacts with ATP molecule. So ATP transfers energy and phosphate to glucose, forming glucose 6-phosphate, and itself converts into ADP. Glycolysis starts when glucose reacts with ATP, forming glucose 6-phosphate. ATP transfers energy and phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate means that as the ATP transfer phosphate to glucose, so it means glucose 6-phosphate means that phosphate is attached to carbon number 6 of glucose. So now it is called glucose 6-phosphate, and the ATP itself is now converted into ADP. This first step occurs in the presence of an enzyme hexokinase and magnesium ions, and this is known as phosphorylation of glucose. Actually, the phosphorylation means the addition of phosphate. So a phosphate is added to carbon number 6 of glucose, making glucose 6 phosphate. Now the second step is isomerization of glucose 6 phosphate. In this step, the glucose 6 phosphate is isomerized, changes into another 6 carbon sugar, that is fructose 6 phosphate. You know the term isomers, those molecules having the same molecular formula but different structures are called isomers, and the phenomena is known as isomerism, and this conversion of one isomer into another isomer is called isomerization. So here glucose and fructose both are 6 carbon molecules, both have the same molecular formula C6H12O6. So in this case, the glucose 6 phosphate is isomerized, changes into another isomer, that is fructose 6 phosphate, in the presence of enzyme phosphohexose isomerase. The third step is phosphorylation of fructose 6 phosphate. Phosphorylation again means the addition of another ATP to fructose 6 phosphate. So fructose 6 phosphate reacts with another ATP, forming fructose 1,6 bisphosphate, right? Now 1,6 means that another phosphate is attached to carbon number 1 of fructose, and now it is called fructose 1,6. 1,6 means that one phosphate is attached to carbon number 1 of fructose, and another phosphate is attached to carbon number 6 of fructose. So bis means 2. So it is called fructose 1,6 bisphosphate in the presence of enzyme phosphofructokinase and magnesium ions. The fourth step is cleavage or splitting or breaking of fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. In this step, the fructose 1,6 bisphosphate splits into phosphoglyceraldehyde PGAL, also known as G3P glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, which you have already been studied in the dark or reaction of photosynthesis or Calvin cycle. So the fructose 1,6 bisphosphate splits or breaks into PGAL, a 3 carbon molecule, right, and dihydroxycetone phosphate DHAP, also another 3 carbon molecule, in the presence of enzyme aldolase, right? Both PGAL and dihydroxycetone phosphate, these are isomers and interconvertible. In the fifth step, the DHAP, the dihydroxycetone phosphate, also isomerizes, changes into PGAL. So now there, as a result, 2 PGAL molecules are formed in the presence of enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. And now with the cleavage splitting of fructose 1,6 bisphosphate into PGAL and DHAP, the preparatory phase is completed, right? And in the last step of preparatory phase, the dihydroxycetone phosphate also changes into PGAL. So we have now 2 PGAL molecules. So overall, 2 ATP molecules are used in preparatory phase, one in the first step, that is in the phosphorylation of glucose, and the other in the third step, that is in the phosphorylation of fructose 6 phosphate. So 2 ATP molecules are used, this one and this one, right? Now moving into the second phase of glycolysis, which is oxidative phase or F phase or harvesting phase. If you look into the diagram, it also involves, the oxidative phase also completes or involves 5 steps. That is from step number 6 to 6 number 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Now we will study these steps one by one. So The first step in oxidative phase is that is the sixth step in glycolysis is dehydrogenation of PGAL. As you know that at the end of oxidative phase we have two PGAL molecules. Now the first step in oxidative phase is dehydrogenation of PGL. Dehydrogenation, the name indicates, means the removal of hydrogen from PGL, from phosphoglyceraldehyde or glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate means that if you look into this diagram, so it means 3 phosphate means that phosphoglyceraldehyde has a phosphate group at carbon number 3. So dehydrogenation, removal of hydrogen. So the process begins when two hydrogen atoms are removed from 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. In this step, two hydrogen atoms are removed from this 3-PGAL molecule, phosphoglyceraldehyde, and these hydrogens are transferred to oxidized NAD. Transferred to oxidized NAD, which is a coenzyme. Thus, the PGAL is oxidized to PGA phosphoglycerate and NAD is reduced to NADH2. Once again, this is very easy. Dehydrogenation of PGL. Dehydrogenation means that in this process, two hydrogen atoms are removed from phosphoglyceraldehyde, right, and are transferred to oxidized NAD, which is a coenzyme. So thus with the removal of hydrogen atoms, PGAL is changed or converted into PGA phosphoglycerate and NAD is reduced into NADH2. And this step and this step and the subsequent, that is the coming steps, occur twice because 2-PGAL molecules are produced at the end of preparatory phase. All these steps occurs twice because we have 2-PGAL molecules at the end of preparatory phase. And this dehydrogenation phase steps occur in the presence of an enzyme known as G3P, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. Now this is 1,3, this molecule is 1,3-biphosphoglycerate. 1,3 means that it has two phosphate groups. And this dehydrogenation step is also accompanied by the addition of, look into this arrow, by the addition of phosphate groups into PGA. So the resultant molecule are 1,3-biphosphoglycerate. 1,3-biphosphoglycerate. 1,3 means that phosphate groups are attached to carbon number 1 and 3 of phosphoglycerate. So 1,3 shows the position of phosphate groups attached to carbon atoms, and bi means two phosphate groups, one phosphate at carbon number 1 and the other phosphate at carbon number 3. So this hydrogenation step is also accompanied with the addition of phosphate groups. So the resultant molecules are known as 1,3. There are two molecules of PGA, that is 1,3-biphosphoglycerate. The step number 7 is dephosphorylation. Dephosphorylation now means removal of phosphate of 1,3-biphosphoglycerate, that is the removal of phosphate from phosphoglycerate and ATP formation. So now each molecule of 1,3-biphosphoglycerate transfers high energy phosphate to ADP, forming ATP molecule, and itself changes to 3-PGA. In this step, the phosphatic group is removed from 1,3-biphosphoglycerate and transferred to ADP, forming ATP, and itself changes into 3-PGA. It means now it has one phosphate group at carbon number 3 because another phosphate group is transferred to ADP, which resulted in the formation of ATP. So this step is known as dephosphorylation of 1,3-PGA and ATP formation, right? The step number 8 is the formation of 2-PGA. Now the phosphate group is transferred from carbon number 3 to carbon number 2. So now it is called 2-PGA. Now the phosphate group is attached to carbon number 2 of phosphoglycerate. So this is formation of 2-PGA, in which the phosphate is transferred from carbon number 3 to carbon number 2. So the PGA is changes into 3-PGA is changed into 2-PGA in the presence of enzyme mutase, phosphoglycerate mutase, and magnesium ions. The step number 9 is formation of PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate. In this step, the 2-PGA phosphoglycerate molecule converts into phosphoenol pyruvate with the elimination or removal of water in the presence of enzyme enolase. In this step, a water molecule is removed from the PGA and it changes into phosphoenol pyruvate in the presence of enzyme enolase. The last step, that is a step number 10 of glycolysis, is the formation of pyruvate, pyruvic acid, and ATP synthesis. So again, in this step, the phosphoenol pyruvate reacts with ADP, forming ATP and pyruvic acid. In this step, the phosphoenol pyruvate transfers its phosphate group to ADP, forming ATP, and itself changes into pyruvic acid. So two molecules of pyruvic acid or pyruvate are formed, and it is the end product, and these two molecules of pyruvic acid are the end product of the glycolysis, right? And this last step occurs in the presence of enzyme pyruvate kinase and magnesium and potassium ions. As you studied that 2 ATP molecules are utilized in the preparatory phase or to start the process of glycolysis, right? And 4 ATP molecules, 2 in the step number 7 and 2 in the step number 10, that is in the last step. 4 ATP, so 2 in step number 7 and 2 in the step number 10, that is in the last step. So it means 4 molecules of ATP are produced. Therefore, there is a net gain of 2 ATP molecules. So as you studied now the process of, so 2 ATP molecules are used in glycolysis in the preparatory phase, while 4 ATP molecules are produced at the oxidative phase or FAF phase. So there is a net gain of 2 ATP molecules in glycolysis. Also note that 2 NADH2 molecules are also produced in glycolysis at step number 6, that is dehydrogenation of PGAL, right? So in aerobic respiration, which is also called cellular respiration, further steps, that is Krebs cycle and electron transport chain, occur in mitochondria, and pyruvate or pyruvic acid from glycolysis is completely oxidized through linked reaction, Krebs cycle and electron transport chain to carbon dioxide and water. And also note that all these enzymes of glycolysis are found in cytosol or cytoplasm in soluble form. So this is all about glycolysis. So the products of glycolysis are 2 pyruvic acids or 2 pyruvate molecules 2 NADH2 molecules and 2 ATPs net, right? At the last, this is the simplified reaction of glycolysis. This is a glucose molecule, which is a 6-carbon molecule. It is broken down into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, that is C3H4O3, into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid or pyruvate, right? Note that 2 ATP molecules are used in preparatory phase, while 4 ATP molecules are produced in the oxidative phase. So there is a net gain of 2 ATP molecules in the glycolysis. And also note that 2 NAD molecules are reduced into 2 NADH2 molecules in the presence of enzymes. This is all about glycolysis. Thank you.